Hello, friends. Welcome to this morning energizing yoga practice to clear the mind and cultivate balance. We'll begin in a comfortable seated position, perhaps joining me in Sukhasana, easy pose. Offer yourself a few moments to get comfortable, lengthen your spine, relax your shoulders, soften your hands in your lap, and if it feels right for you today, you can close your eyes or simply find a soft gaze. Go ahead and take one gradual inhalation through your nostrils. And on your exhalation, open your mouth, sigh it all out. Once more, inhale. And exhale. One more breath. One more breath. Allow this breath to cleanse your body, to cleanse your mind, and begin to return to your natural breathing pattern, whatever that feels like for you today. Now, before we get into our practice, I invite you to take a moment to acknowledge the courage that it took to show up here on the mat today. Recognize the strength in your decision to nurture your well-being. No matter what you've got going on in your life right now, no matter what goals you have, how far off they are, or what you've achieved, allow yourself to settle into what's happening here on the mat. Give yourself permission to totally free yourself from any obligations, from any future commitments or rumination of the past. Ask yourself whether it's possible to be totally present with your breath, with your body, and with the unfolding of the present moment. Now, naturally, the mind is going to wander, stories are going to come up, to-do lists are going to crop up, and as you notice this, seek each opportunity to return to the mat, to return to what's unfolding here, free from resistance, free from judgment, just allowing yourself to experience the richness and the fullness of life. From a space of compassion and loving awareness, let us welcome in one cleansing breath. Inhale. Pause at the top, acknowledging all that you've been holding on to. And exhale, let it all go. Allow yourself to soften. On your next inhalation, lengthen your spine and the back of your neck. And on your exhalation, gently turn your gaze towards the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, turn your gaze to the right. Once more in each direction. Begin to notice the sensations, perhaps a stretch around the neck and the upper back. You're welcome to continue with this movement. Otherwise, next time you return through center, lower one ear to one shoulder and begin to circle your head and your neck. moving and breathing at a tempo that feels right for you. Relax your jaw and your face, and you might like to swap the direction of your movements. Finish off your final circle. Lower your left palm onto the earth. Exhale, side bend to the left to raise your right arm. Inhale to lift. Exhale, side bend to the right, raise your left arm, and again. Side bend to the right. Return through center. Place your palms atop of your knees. Inhale, arch the back, glide your palms towards your hips. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. And again, taking a few rounds of a seated cat and cow. Noticing the contrast as we expand and contract the heart space and stretch and engage the muscles of the back. From here, you can rest your fingertips atop of your shoulders and begin to circle your elbows, your shoulders in one direction. And we'll swap the direction. Go ahead and release your arms. Come onto all fours and sink your hips back towards your heels as we come into child's pose. Reaching your arms out in front. Resting your forehead on the mat. Softening your body. You might like to set an intention for your practice today. Perhaps choosing one word that captures the feeling you would like to embody. And as we move throughout our practice, return to this one word mantra to help you anchor into this moment as you cultivate the feelings you would like to experience. And let's honor this intention with one nourishing breath. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhalation, rise into tabletop Balmanasana, shoulders to top of wrists. On your inhalation, arch your back, open your chest. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, cow pose, tilt your tailbone skywards, open your heart. Exhale, tailbone towards the earth, separate your shoulder blades. 2 more rounds at your own tempo, using this invitation to feel the breath moving throughout the body. Return through center. Inhale, raise your left arm, gaze up. Exhale, thread the needle. We'll do that again. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. So we're keeping the arm hovered off the mat when we lower down, using core strength to help us rotate the upper spine. And on your next exhalation, you can find your traditional thread the needle, softening your arm and the side of your head onto the mat. Maybe you choose to guide your right arm behind your back or towards the inner seam of your left thigh. Offer yourself 2 nourishing breaths here. Gently return your right palm to the earth. Inhale to raise your left arm, open your chest, gaze skywards. Exhale, tabletop. Inhale to raise your right arm. Exhale to bend and thread. 3 more times. Feeling the strength and the stability of your left arm supporting us with these rotations. On your next exhalation, soften into your thread the needle, Balasana. Relax the upper body. Relax your throat and your face. Return your left palm to the earth. Inhale, raise your right arm. Exhale, tabletop. From here, shift your hips back towards your heels, child's pose. Walk the arms out in front. Press into your palms. Inhale, ripple forwards, lower the pelvis down, open your chest, cobra, keeping a slight bend in your elbows. Exhale, send your hips back, child's pose. And again, inhale, ripple forwards, turn on the core muscles. Exhale, child's pose. And again, if this feels like too much, know that you can return to our cat and cow or any modification of a movement that feels right for you. Let's go for one more round. Feel the mobility in your spine. On your next breath, rise into tabletop. Tuck your left toes under, extend your left leg back. You can stay here or float your leg up to hip height. Option to point your toes. You can either reach your right arm out in front, or from here, place your fingertips atop of your right shoulder and begin to trace circles in the air with your right elbow. Maybe you swap the direction of your movements, stabilizing the body here. Reach your arm out in front. Maybe you stay in bird dog, or bend your left knee. Catch your foot with your hand or perhaps your ankle and begin to extend your limbs skywards. Open your chest, tiger pose. Gently release. Return to tabletop and we'll go on the other side. Maybe you keep your toes on the mat with your leg extended. Maybe you float your leg up to hip height, foot either flexed or pointed. You can reach your left arm out, or let's begin to trace our circles. So the intention here is to stabilize the torso, to keep the core muscles engaged and engage the back of the right leg. Relax your face, re-extend your limbs, and maybe you find tiger pose, Virasana. Shine your heart forwards. Inhale. And exhale, release. Return to tabletop. Tuck your toes under, maybe shift your hands out in front, lift the pelvis, straighten your legs, downward facing dog. If movement feels right here for you, go ahead and honor that. On your next inhalation, lift your left leg, three-legged dog. Bend your knee and begin to trace circles in the air with your left knee and your hip. Maybe you swap the direction, keeping everything else stable. Re-extend your legs skywards, three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, lower the foot down. Find your foundation. Inhale to raise your right leg. Bend your knee. And let's again find our circles. So we're keeping both shoulders squared to the mat. You can swap the direction. Notice the mobility in your right hip, as well as a stretch for the left leg. Re-extend your right leg. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to ripple forwards, plank pose. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you come into upward dog with the toes tucked. Exhale, down dog. Let's do that again. Inhale, ripple forwards, either plank or up dog. Open your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more round. Feel the fluidity of your movements and the strength of your body. On your next inhalation, lift your right leg. Exhale, step your foot between your palms, tent up onto your fingertips. Lower the back knee down. Inhale to raise the arms, low crescent moon. Exhale, lower the arms down, frame your front foot. Inhale. Exhale, half monkey, shift your hips back, straighten your front leg. Inhale, low crescent. Exhale, half monkey, and again, know that you can always move your hands between your transitions if that makes these postures more accessible. On your next exhalation, go ahead and pause in your half monkey. If you'd like to deepen this stretch, you can walk your arms out in front and melt your heart towards your thighs. If that feels like too much, go ahead and keep the torso lifted. Mindfully bend your front knee, lift your back leg, pivot your heel in, and guide your right hand towards the inner seam of your right foot. Raise your left arm on a diagonal extended side angle, Uttita Parshvottanasana. Option to come into an arm bind, keeping the chest broad, the hips are lowered. Release your arm to the mat. Release both hands to the mat, square off your hips. Inhale to raise your right arm skywards, twisted crescent moon. Maybe you stay here, or we'll come into our side plank, Vashisthasana. Stacking shoulders, hips, and ankles. Option to raise your right leg skywards, keeping the foot flexed, really engaging the outer hip and your thigh. Return to plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower down forelimb staff pose. Point your toes. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips. Maybe you straighten the legs. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, low crescent. Step your foot between your palms. Lower your back knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, lengthen the torso. Exhale, palms on the earth. Inhale. Exhale, half monkey. And again, flowing to the tempo of your breath. Allowing these sensations to help you stay present, to help you stay focused. On your next exhalation, let's pause in half monkey. Go ahead and rebend your left knee. Tuck the back toes under, straighten your leg. Pivot your right heel in, extended side angle. Either left palm on the mat in front of your left foot, or you can come into your arm bind. Feeling the engagement of your left thigh, the strength of your torso, your core muscles. Stabilizing your body. If you are in the arm bind, gently release. Place both palms on the earth, lift your back heel, raise your left arm, inhale. Either stay here or exhale, pivot onto the blade edge of your right foot stack your left leg atop of your right, Vashisthasana. Maybe you stay here, maybe you lift a leg, or know that you can also lower your right knee to the mat for a modification. Wherever you were, gently release, plank pose, inhale, exhale your vinyasa, or you can head straight to downward facing dog. Listen to your body. Inhale in down dog. Exhale, gently step up to the top of your mat. Bend the knees, ragdoll. Let's grab a hold of opposite elbow with opposite hand. Allow the torso to hang loose, to rest heavy. Release the arm bind. On your next inhalation, halfway lift, lengthen your arms and the back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana once more. Noticing the deep stretch and the opening for the back body. Gently release. Fingertips on the earth, heel toe your feet slightly wider than your hips. Heels and toes out, lower the hips down, Malasana Garland's pose. Join your palms at your heart. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Exhale, gently lower your sits bones down, and let's come into butterfly pose. Grabbing a hold of your feet with your hands, you can either stay here or reach back with your left hand, finding an open spinal twist. Maybe gazing back, return through center, and twist to the right. And gently release. You can stay upright or come into a forward fold. Big breath in. And big breath out. You might like to reconnect with your mantra, with your intention. Otherwise, simply noticing the breath. Gently release from your forward fold. Close off the hip joints, and let's come into a kneeling position as we prepare for Camel Ustrasana. Placing your palms along your lower back to support your sacrum and the upper glutes. Draw your elbows towards one another. Maybe staying here is enough for you. Otherwise, engage the core muscles, push your hips forwards, arch your back. And if you like, you can grab a hold of your heels or your ankles with your hands. Continue to lift your heart, lengthen your spine as you arch your back. Breathe. Relax your face and your throat. Offer yourself one more breath here. If you are in the full expression of Camel, one arm at a time, place your palms on your lower back. Rest your glutes atop of your heels, diamond pose. If you feel that it's appropriate, feel free to take a counter posture, maybe in child's pose, to release any tension from your back. You can either stay here, or when you're ready, come into a comfortable seated position. Gently close your eyes. place one palm atop of your belly, the other atop of your heart. Lovingly smile to yourself, to your body, to your breath. Let us honor our practice with one cleansing breath. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhalation, reach your arms up. Exhale, guide your palms in towards your heart. Let us round off our practice with the mantra Om. Inhale to prepare. Om. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this morning yoga practice. Your loving presence is deeply appreciated. You're welcome to share your intention down below in the comments. I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Have a beautiful day. May you be well.